Power is a funny thing. It's like a drug, something people crave so desperately that they'll do anything to get it. The weak hide behind false bravado, spinning intricate webs, desperate to feel control. They plotted, schemed, worked in the shadows, thinking they could pull your strings like a marionette, that your every movement would be dictated by their silent whispers. They believed they could break you, bend you, mold you into the version of yourself that suited their needs. They underestimated something powerful about you, something that they never saw coming, the power of your resistance, the strength that lay dormant, waiting for the right moment to rise. They thought their grip would be tight enough to keep you bound to their whims. But what they failed to realize was that you were never meant to be a puppet. You were always meant to be the one holding the strings. Now look at them. They thought they controlled you, but in the end they were the ones who were powerless. They thought they could manipulate your every move, but their efforts were in vain. For every plan they hatched, every strategy they devised, you were always one step ahead. They underestimated your resilience, your will to break free from their clutches, and now they're helpless. Their control is slipping away like sand through their fingers. The very thing they fought for, the thing they wanted more than anything, is slipping from their grasp. They thought they could break your spirit. They thought they could silence your voice. They thought they could make you doubt your worth, make you question your every decision. They thought they could weigh you down over time until you were nothing but a shadow of who you once were. But they forgot one crucial thing. They forgot that there is power in struggle. There is strength in adversity. Every time they tried to push you down, you only rose higher. Every time they tried to silence you, you only spoke louder. They couldn't see it then, but the struggle only made you stronger. And now, the very thing they tried to use against you is the thing that's tearing them apart. They thought they had the upper hand. They thought they had the leverage. But the truth is, their power was built on a foundation of lies. Lies about you. Lies about their own abilities. They believed they could control you because they saw your pain and thought it was weakness. They saw your vulnerability and mistook it for fragility. They saw your fear and thought it was surrender. What they failed to realize was that your fear wasn't weakness. It was the fuel that ignited your strength. Your vulnerability wasn't fragility. It was the space where your resilience grew. Your pain wasn't a sign of defeat. It was the testament of your survival. They thought they were shaping you, shaping your destiny. But what they didn't understand was that they were merely shaping the force that would ultimately bring them to their knees. They were setting the stage for their own downfall without even realizing it. They created the circumstances that would lead to their defeat. And now look at them. They stand at the edge of their own collapse. The walls they built around you are crumbling. The chains they forged to keep you bound are snapping one by one, and they are powerless to stop it. They are helpless in the face of the strength that you've cultivated. What they didn't understand was that control is an illusion. It's a fleeting moment where someone believes they hold the reins of power, but it's never permanent. Power isn't something you can hold on to forever. It's something that slips through your fingers when you're too focused on holding on to it tightly. The more they tried to control you, the more they lost control of themselves. They became obsessed with you, with the idea of bending you to their will. And in their obsession, they became blind to their own weaknesses. They thought they could break you, but they didn't realize that in trying to break you, they were breaking themselves. Now, they stand there defeated. They stand there watching as everything they worked for crumbles before their eyes. They thought they were the ones who held the power, but the truth is you were always the one in control. You were always the one who had the strength, the will, the determination to rise above their attempts to tear you down, and now they are left to face the consequences of their actions. They are left to face the reality that they were never the ones in control. They were always the ones being controlled by their own fear, their own insecurity, their own need for dominance. And now, they're helpless. But don't let that make you feel sorry for them. Don't let their downfall stir any sympathy within you. They didn't show you any mercy when they tried to control you, when they tried to break you. They didn't care about your pain, your struggle, your suffering. They only cared about their own power, their own desires. They saw you as a tool to be used and discarded when it no longer served them. So don't waste your time feeling anything for them now that they've been stripped of the power they once held over you. They don't deserve your sympathy. Let their defeat be a reminder of what happens when someone believes they can control another human being. Let it serve as a warning to anyone who thinks they can break you, bend you to their will. Let them see that your strength is unshakable. Let them understand that there is no power greater than the will to survive, the will to fight, the will to stand tall, even when the world tries to tear you down. They thought they could control you, but in the end they were the ones who were powerless. And now that they're helpless, there's nothing left for them to do but watch as you rise. Watch as you take back everything they tried to take from you. Watch as you reclaim your power, your dignity, your sense of self. Watch as you become the person they never thought you could be. They wanted to control you, but now they're nothing more than a footnote in your story. They're a distant memory, a faded image of someone who once thought they had power over you. But you've proven them wrong. You've proven that no one can ever truly control you. No one can ever break you. No one can ever take away your power. So stand tall in your victory. Stand tall in your strength. Stand tall, knowing that you are the one who has the power. You are the one who controls your destiny. You are the one who has the strength to rise above anything they throw your way. They wanted to control you, but now they're helpless. They wanted to break you, but now they've only made you stronger. Let that be the final word, the final truth, the final victory. You are the one who holds the power, and they are the ones who are powerless. They spent countless hours devising plans, using every tactic they could think of to make you bend to their will. They carefully calculated each move, each word they spoke, believing that they were building a fortress of control around you, but they were blind to the truth. Their power was a facade, a fragile illusion held up by manipulation and deceit. They thought they were the ones with the upper hand, the ones who had the power to dictate your every step, but they never understood the depth of your resilience, the extent of your strength. They never saw the fire within you that burned brighter with every attempt they made to extinguish it. What they failed to realize is that true power doesn't come from domination or control over others. True power comes from within. It's the power to stand firm in the face of adversity, to refuse to be broken by the weight of someone else's expectations, to rise above the challenges they throw your way and emerge stronger than you were before. It's the power to choose your own path, to walk with your head held high, even when the world tries to crush you beneath its heel. And that's where they made their fatal mistake. They thought they could bend you to their will, but all they did was awaken a force inside you that they could never understand or contain. They tried to control you by keeping you in a constant state of fear, by keeping you second-guessing your own worth and abilities. They wanted you to question yourself, to doubt your own voice, to cower before their demands. But all they did was fuel the fire of defiance inside you. They wanted you to see yourself as small, weak, incapable, but instead, you saw the truth of who you really were. Someone with the power to break free, someone who could rise from the ashes they tried to bury you in. They thought they could control your destiny, but they didn't realize that your destiny was never in their hands to begin with. It was always in your hands, waiting for you to claim it, waiting for you to rise up and take the reins. The more they tried to dominate you, the more they exposed their own vulnerability. They hid behind their false bravado, trying to maintain an image of invincibility. But underneath it all, they were scared. Scared of losing their grip on you. Scared of losing the power they had so desperately clung to. Scared of the day when you would finally wake up to the truth of your own strength. And that fear, that insecurity, is what ultimately led to their downfall. Because when you finally realized what they were doing, when you finally saw the strings they were pulling behind your back, you chose to sever them. You chose to free yourself from their control. And in doing so, you set off a chain reaction that they couldn't stop. They wanted to control you, but now they're the ones who are trapped in the cage they built for themselves. They wanted to break you, but they didn't realize that breaking you was never the goal. The goal was always to prove that no one, not even them, could ever take away your power. They thought they could dictate your every move, but in trying to control you, they lost control of everything. They thought they could manipulate you into believing you were nothing without them, that you needed their approval, their validation. But what they failed to understand is that you never needed them to begin with. You only needed yourself. You only needed the strength that had always been inside you, waiting for the right moment to explode. And now, as they watch you rise, they are powerless to stop it. They can't take back what they've done. They can't erase the damage they've caused. They can't undo the lies they told or the manipulation they used to keep you in line. They can't stop the momentum that is building behind you, the force that will carry you forward as you break free from the chains they tried to wrap around you. They wanted to control you, but now they are the ones who are trapped. They are the ones who are powerless. They are the ones who are watching as everything they built crumbles before their eyes. You've taken back your power. You've reclaimed your voice, your strength, your sense of self. You've shown them that they could never break you. You've shown them that their control was an illusion. And now, as they are left with nothing but their own fear and regret, you are the one who stands tall. You are the one who controls your own fate. You are the one who holds the power to shape your future. You have proven to them and to yourself that no one, no matter how much they scheme, no matter how much they try to control, can ever take away what is yours. But let's not forget what it took to get here. It wasn't easy. There were moments when you doubted yourself. There were moments when you questioned whether you could keep going. There were moments when their manipulation almost succeeded, when their lies almost became your reality. But you didn't give up. You didn't surrender. You fought back, not with anger or bitterness, but with the quiet, unshakable strength that comes from knowing who you truly are. You didn't need to stoop to their level. You didn't need to resort to their tactics. All you needed was your own belief in yourself, your own conviction that you would never allow anyone to control you, no matter how hard they tried. And now, as you stand victorious, remember this: the true power was never theirs to begin with. They thought they could control you because they didn't understand the depths of your soul. They didn't understand the power that lies dormant within every person who dares to stand up for themselves. They didn't understand that you were never weak, never small, never powerless. They saw only what they wanted to see, and in doing so, they sealed their own fate. They are now the ones who are trapped in their own web of lies. They are now the ones who are powerless. And you are free. Free from their control. Free from their manipulation. Free to live your life on your own terms. Free to claim your future, your destiny, your power. Because you never needed them. You never needed anyone to tell you who you were or what you could do. You only needed yourself. And now, as you step into the life you were always meant to lead, remember this truth. No one can ever control you again. Not them, not anyone. You are the master of your own fate. And they are the ones who are powerless. Look at them now, standing on the crumbling ruins of their self-made empire, gazing at the wreckage they thought would last forever. They thought that by controlling you, they would have a hold over everything that mattered in this world. They thought their grip on you would solidify their power and secure their place at the top. But now, they realize how fleeting that illusion was, how fragile their control really was. They can see it now, too late to undo their mistakes. The walls they constructed to keep you contained have collapsed, and the power they once believed they held over you is slipping through their fingers like water from a broken dam. What they never understood is that the power they thought they wielded was never theirs to begin with. Power doesn't lie in the ability to make others submit to your will. That's merely the pretense of power. True power is the strength to remain steadfast, to stand tall, even when the world tries to tear you down. True power is the courage to defy those who seek to control you, to fight back with everything you have, no matter the cost. And that's the power they never saw in you. They underestimated the fire that burned within you, the resilience that you never once allowed to be snuffed out. They never saw the depth of your strength because they were too focused on their own needs, their own desires. And now, as they stand there, defeated and broken, they realize the truth they never saw coming. Their power was a fragile illusion, and they were never in control. They believed that by keeping you down, they could maintain their dominance. They thought that if they could isolate you, manipulate you, gaslight you into doubting yourself, they could keep you in check. But the more they pushed, the more they exposed their weakness, their actions, their deceit, their cruelty. It wasn't strength, it was fear. Fear that one day you would see through the mask they wore and realize that they were not the powerful ones. You were. Fear that you would awaken to your own power, and that would be the end of their reign. They didn't realize that their manipulation was their own undoing, that the more they tried to control you, the more they dug their own grave. In their attempts to break you, they only gave you the strength you needed to rise above them. When they saw you fighting back, when they saw the fire in your eyes that refused to be extinguished, they should have known that the game was over. The moment you began to resist, to push back, was the moment their grip began to slip. They couldn't control you by force, and they couldn't control you with fear. And when they realized that, it was already too late. Their plans had backfired, their schemes had unraveled, and now they're left with nothing. You are the one who stands in power, and they are the ones who are helpless. What they never understood is that power isn't something that can be taken from you. It's not something that can be manipulated or stolen. It comes from within. It comes from your refusal to be dominated, from your decision to stand on your own 2 feet and face the world with courage, even when everything around you tells you to bow down. Power is the ability to rise from every defeat, every setback, every moment when the world tried to crush you. Power is in your resilience, in your determination to never give up. And that's the power they never understood. They saw you as weak, as someone they could control, as someone who would bend to their will without question. But they never saw the true depth of your strength. They didn't see that every time they pushed you, you grew stronger. Every time they tried to break you, you became unbreakable. They didn't see that you were the storm, the hurricane, the fire that would consume everything in its path. They saw only the surface, the moments when you stumbled, the moments when you were vulnerable, the moments when you doubted yourself. But they didn't see the raw, untapped power that lay beneath, the power that would rise up in the face of adversity and tear down everything they built to control you. Now, as they watch you rise, as they see you reclaim the power they thought they could take from you, they are left with nothing but their own regrets. They are left with nothing but the empty shell of their once feared control. They thought they had the upper hand, but in the end, they were the ones who were played. They thought they could break you, but all they did was awaken a force that was beyond their comprehension. And now, they're left in the dust, scrambling to salvage what little is left of the empire they thought would last forever. And you stand tall. You stand firm in the truth of your own strength. You stand in the power that was never theirs to begin with. You are the one who has the power to shape your own destiny, to chart your own course, to live your life on your own terms. They thought they could control you, but now they are the ones who are powerless. They thought they could break you, but in trying to break you, they made you stronger. And now, as you take the reins of your own life, as you rise above their attempts to keep you down, you show the world the true meaning of power. But even as they stand there, broken and defeated, you must remember that their downfall isn't something to rejoice in. Yes, they tried to control you. Yes, they attempted to manipulate you, but their failure is a reflection of their own weakness, not a reason for you to gloat. In their desperation to control you, they lost sight of their own humanity. They lost sight of the fact that true power isn't about dominating others. It's about respecting the autonomy of those around you. True power is about empowering others, lifting them up, not holding them down. And now, as they crumble under the weight of their own hubris, remember this. Their downfall is a reminder of what happens when you seek to control, when you seek to dominate instead of collaborate, when you forget that every person has their own power, their own light. Their defeat is a victory for you, but not in the way they might think. It's a victory because it proves that no one has the right to take away your autonomy, your voice, your strength. It proves that no matter how hard they try, no matter how much they scheme, they can never truly control you. And it proves that in the end, the greatest power lies not in subjugation, but in liberation. The freedom to be yourself, to live authentically, to walk through the world with your head held high. So now, as you look at the wreckage they've left behind, don't let it become your focus. Their defeat is just the end of one chapter, not the beginning of another. You've already risen above them. You've already claimed your power. And now, it's time to use that power to forge ahead and create a life that is yours, to build a future that no one can take from you. Let their downfall be a reminder of your strength, but let it also serve as a lesson for them, a lesson that they may never fully understand. They wanted control over you, but now they are powerless, and that's the truth they will carry with them for the rest of their days. They thought they could break you, control you, use you for their own purposes. But in the end, they were the ones who were broken. They were the ones who were powerless. And you are the one who has the power. You are the one who controls your destiny. You are the one who holds the keys to your future. They wanted to control you, but now they are nothing more than a distant memory. A memory of what happens when you underestimate the strength of a person determined to be free. You are the power, and they are powerless. In the end, they sought control, they schemed, and they tried to break you. But their efforts were futile because true power lies within you. They may have believed they could dominate your life, but all they did was awaken a force they could never comprehend. Now, as they stand powerless in the wreckage of their own making, remember this. Your strength, resilience, and unwavering will have proven that no one can ever truly control you. You are the master of your own fate, and they are nothing more than a shadow of their failed ambitions. They wanted control, but now they are powerless. And you are unstoppable.